What's going on YouTube? It's Jamel again with Focused Hands, and today I got a good one for you. We're going to be deleting this 2005 Ford Focus front grille. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing you want to do obviously is get the hood open. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get into taking the clips off, and I'll go through all these steps so that you can do it. Remove these bolts here, here, and here. I use an upholstery tool. I'm gonna go grab that for you so that you can see that and screw it out with a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, so I'm gonna do a little clip maintenance here, get all my clips together. I finally got that last, I just had to pull the last clip out because it was acting like it didn't want to come out like the other ones. Anyway, so I got these back in. These are the 3 clips. Remember where these go. All right, so what you want to do next is lift this up. Let me pull this back so you can see it. And lift this up and slide it back and pull back. Like lift up a little bit and pull back, and that comes straight off. And we'll put that over here. All right, your next bolts, it turns out these are actually 10 millimeter bolts. Got my 10 millimeter socket, and we're going to wrench these out. Let me show you how that's removed. This goes one. And this should be 2. So there's that bolt. So now, what you want to do, obviously, like I said, you want to lift up on this little piece to pop it off that little hang. Lift up that piece and pop it off. And this whole piece should be able to just slide. You want to pull it forward and out of the little clips that are down here. So you can see that. Let me try to get a little sun there for you. These little, just like that. It pops right out. Now we can begin the removal of the clips here on the inside. So I want to remove these clips here, holding this grill piece in. I take that grill piece out, and this will allow me to delete this part where I can put on the honeycomb mesh that I got, and I'll bring that out so you can see that. Anyway, let's get started. I want to tell you to be careful with this part and take your time. Now I've already started to loosen the top part, so I can kind of pull this back, just like so. But if you're not careful with this, you can break it. I'm going to take this trim piece and slide it in between the two, and on this gray piece to get behind that clip. I'm just going to pry on that clip only, or on this gray piece to push it out like that. See that? Push that part out of the clip to get it out of the way and free of the housing. Just like so. So now I have these 2 pieces separated. Just like that. Alright, so after you've removed the insert, you should have 2 parts. You should have the grill bezel, and you should have the grill insert itself. This is the part that we're deleting, but we're keeping this part. On the back side of here, there are, let me see, on this thing, on the bezel itself, there are these little tabs here where my thumb is. If you can't get these off, if you try to get them off and you can't get them off with the trim tool, just use a flathead screwdriver and pry in between the grill and this little bezel part, and you'll be able to wiggle it off. But yeah, go slow with this part because you don't want to snap anything, because we need this to put everything back together. Anyway, let's move on. And I just thought of a cool idea. So in order to delete the grill, I'm going to need to reattach these pieces here on the end, and I'm going to need these pieces here on the bottom. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out around this portion here to, delete this, and then I can glue my honeycomb or plastic my honeycomb ABS plastic onto this, deleting this whole thing and being able to reuse the connection points for the focus without having to do any extra work. So I think I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to use a jigsaw to cut out the insert along the line so that I can keep this outer part to put back on the car. To keep this outer part, I can put it back on the car. So I'm going to use this to do it. I don't have like a Dremel tool. I wish I did, but apparently I haven't bought a Dremel tool yet. But that'll be next on my list to get. Make sure you have yourself some gloves and hearing protection, and also safety glasses so that you can be safe when you're working out here. Anyway, let's get started on cutting this and move on to the next thing. Alright, so once you got this piece cut out here from the main body, you're gonna wanna sand this down. Alright, so what I have here is the ABS plastic versus the stock grill mesh that came with the car. Actually, this one I bought it, so this one isn't even a stock either. It came from Taiwan, but here's the honeycomb mesh that I'm going to replace this with to delete this Ford symbol. I think it's going to make the car look better, at least for me. And if I wanted to, I can always go back and buy this, and I'll keep the Ford symbol, wherever it is. Keep the Ford symbol, for safekeeping, because Ford is Ford, baby. Woo! But anyway, let's get this cut out to this spec, and we'll start gluing things down. All right, so to mark out the locations, I'm just going to use some blue Scotch tape, or what is this, 3M tape. All right, so what I'm doing here is that I'm using the old mesh as a reference, and I'm trying to clip it down the size so that it fits neat. So what I've done is I've used the plastic weld. Let's see, is this stuff right here, this JB plastic bonder, high strength, 15 minutes. And I applied it along this, let me get the video up, sorry. I applied it along this front seam here all the way across, and then I'm clamping it down so that I get a nice seat, so that the two plastics will stick. And then I'm going to insert this using the same technique so that it sticks. Yeah, so I use glue on it, and I put zip ties on this so I can let the glue dry. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the car so that you can see it in view. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is I didn't show the reassembly because I feel like we all at this point will understand how to put it back together if we knew how to take it apart. And I feel like I did a pretty good job of explaining how you take the grill apart, so I felt like I didn't need to show you how to put it back together. So here's the finished product with everything on the car, all the bolts and plastic molding pieces put back on. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's what this car needs. Like, in my opinion, man, this is gonna make this car much more fun to drive. Much more fun to drive. That's the new grill with the Ford Focus. So this is the grill with the Ford symbol delete. Yeah, it's gone. Look how awesome this looks. So, I mean, this didn't take me very long. I had a lot of the tools from woodworking I used to clamp down the molding, and you know, you can do it. It'll be a pretty interesting and fun project. Go slow. Try not to break any of the plastics because they're kind of hard to fix once you break them. But I think that you can do it, and you know, keep working on your forward focus. Send me pictures if you actually end up doing the delete. Send me some pictures in the down in the description. I don't have an Instagram or a Facebook or a Pinterest or anything like that, so you know, we'll figure out something. Anyway, I'm Jamel with Focused Hands, and I'll see you in the next episode. Alright YouTube, this is going to be the next video. I'm going to be taking off this bumper for the 2005 Ford Focus. As you can see, my bumper has been hit. I've done some resprays and whatnot, but it's been hit, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, you know what to do. Catch you next time.